I know you, Taurus, by the firm outline of your footprints on the sands of time, by everything that stands strong, enduring, as the poet said, the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. I know you by all the solid things on which the world is built, the good earth, the bedrock of the sea, and all the great unbending trees. Taurus is the unshakable, immovable body, created to resist any force that it refuses to allow.
I have seen you, Taurus, waiting for your chance with a patience that defies time, letting everything come to you, never seeming anxious. But when the moment was right, making your move and sweeping up the gains in your sure, strong arms.
I have heard you, Taurus, measuring your words, talking your way into the real heart of the matter, getting things on your own terms, moving with a steady, straight-ahead motion, easygoing, but inevitable. The full-bodied bull who can charge while standing still.
Taurus, your word is stable, from the Latin stabilis, meaning steadfast.
What makes Taurus patient? The planet Venus, receptive, shy, and sensitive, influences the native with the feminine value of waiting, and the knowledge that the line of least resistance is to wait with a cool passion, and to abide and endure, for all things will come in time.
What makes Taurus build? Venus is the social planet, and societies must build with purpose in order to survive. Venus rules the inner organs of reproduction and the need man has to recreate himself. So Taurus acquires and builds in order to protect the life he is responsible for.
What makes Taurus love? Venus is love's planet, and Venus speaks to Taurus in terms of affection, friendship, devotion, and all the warm things that give the heart its moments, the body its fulfillment, and possessions their real meaning.
What makes Taurus? Strength. For Venus is the planet of love, and love is strength.
You're looking for a new situation. You have a complete encyclopedia of new ideas. Do you believe that a careful, conservative, play-it-by-the-book boss needs a little shaking up? Do you think the man that says little, sees little? Don't work for a Taurus. He moves slowly and keeps his silence. He can take so long to go into action you get nervous waiting for something to happen. You'll just have to hold your breath until he's ready. But be sure he will make his move, and when he does, it will be a big one that will take you along with it. To be led by the bull is to follow method, not madness. He has a reason for everything he does and doesn't take kindly to being questioned. On the other hand, he doesn't lean on you, which is a big bonus because he is a very heavy leaner.
You're looking for someone to fill a position? Well, if what you want is a Charlie-up, wheeler-dealer promotion type who has a fast pitch and is kind of a King Khan, who makes a shoestring catch on every deal and blinds clients with dazzling footwork and platinum cufflinks. Don't hire a Taurus. His broad shoulders are made for the quiet responsibility, the two-thirds of the iceberg underneath that you don't see, but which contains most of the weight. He goes for perfection and thoroughness, and feels best when he's building something, for himself or someone else. He can be the glue which holds the whole thing together. If your sun is in Taurus and your moon in Aries, you like to call the shots and have things your way, or not at all. You tolerate no resistance, and persistence is your long suit. You're the kind who can shoot for the moon and get there. But you can create much resentment on the way up. And heaven help you if you ever have to make the return trip. It could be a hard landing.
If your sun and your moon are in Taurus, you are determined without being obstinate, strong without being insensitive, self-controlled without being unfriendly. Yours is a fortunate sign, and if, for instance, money is what you want, it isn't hard for you to accumulate. But with it or without it, you're a nice kind of person who likes people, and the feeling is usually mutual.
Taurus is the solid citizen. But when your moon is in Gemini, you have a tendency to wander and to be plastic, even erratic. And you have to take drastic measures and exert much self-discipline to firm up, steady yourself, and take advantage of your great potential. In other words, the more weight you acquire, the higher you can go.
The Taurian is a mountain of a bull, unyielding. Cancer is a moon child, ever-changing. And though the moon setting above the mountain is a nice picture to look at, it may not be as it seems. It indicates extremes in moods. And the native broods darkly and reacts excessively. However, he is easily influenced for good and for bad, so if he follows the right voice, he goes far and acquires much.
When Taurus has its moon in Leo, it is a combination of two different kinds of bigness, the big Taurian appetite for pleasure and the grand Leonian need to be known. You weave a thick, rich tapestry of extravagance, which you usually can afford, because though you spend much, you often make much. But those love and wine hangovers can make the rich life pretty expensive.
Taurus is a worker, and when the bull's moon is in Virgo, the need is to be doing something, for to be idle is to be dead. But fortunately for you, you can always find something to do. You are pliable and reliable, a good bet to get the job done and your aim achieved. Your passion is to analyze, but you must be wise enough to know that you can analyze life clear out of existence.
The emotions of a Taurian are balanced by perspective. But if you're a Taurian who discovers that try as he may to think a thing through, that it is your heart which gives you your answer, your moon is probably in Libra. You're happiest when there's one constant person to build your life around. Partnerships in all things work best for you. That's why you're so vulnerable and have to keep a critical eye on the people you deal with and on your own emotions.
Sun in Taurus plus moon in Scorpio equals spontaneous combustion. Hell breaks loose when this native makes his move or has something to prove to himself or the world. This bull doesn't graze or gaze contentedly at the home fire. You are desire on the hoof. You have the spring wound tight. But when you try to unwind, you run it so far down, you find it hard to wind back up and go again.
The optimism of Sagittarius is brought down to earth when the Taurian moon is in the sign of the Archer. On the other hand, the obstinacy of the bull is relaxed somewhat by the Sagittarian influence. There is also a tendency for this Taurian to move more quickly and to speak more rapidly than his other sign brothers. However, yours is a sympathetic nature, and the hope you have for yourself extends to all people.
The Taurian love of home is reaffirmed with his moon in Capricorn. There is the need to be secure and sure of your comfort. To gain this security and comfort, you are able to lay plans carefully. You're a fine blend of idealist and realist. Your ambitions are worthy. Your finger is on the public pulse, so your ambitions are very often realized.
If the Taurus native has an Aquarian moon, you are one of the sunshine people. You come on with a smile that's a winner and a style to match. But you have the heavy Taurian determination perfectly concealed, and your surface is hard to scratch. That is why you are able to get what you're after without ever having to play your ace in the hole.
A Taurian is usually pretty much his own person, but with your moon in Pisces, you are humanity's person. Your need is to know what others need, and to offer what you can, which always includes yourself. You may have dreams of your own, but they are silent ones, because the other person is still your prime concern. You live in all people, and all people live in you. In your world, there are no strangers. Six is the number of balance, and the inner balance of Taurus makes the native stand firm. 6 is the number of beauty, and the big Taurian heart is always ready to let the beautiful in. 6 speaks of symmetry, proportion, everything in its rightful place. Taurus knows the true value of all the parts. 6 is the knowledge of method, and method gives Taurus the strength of a bull. The 6th sense could have been the first sense when we were closer to the earth, which Taurus never leaves. 6 is love's number, and Taurus, touched by Venus, says, "If I truly love, I really have." Six o'clock is the hour to enjoy the home, the people you care for, the good food and the wine, all the comforts Taurus desires.
As coral forms in the moving sea, itself unmoved but growing in its own time, so Taurus takes root, slowly, persistently growing in his own time, building, while the world swims frantically around him, urging him in vain to do the same. Most of the reef is submerged in the sea, and it takes a deep dive to see it all. Most of Taurus is also hidden, but coral, once formed, is where it is forever, and the bull has this to remind him that immovable things can be lost, because they can't escape.
Color Taurus a soft yellow. as yellow as summer hills and the earth things, and butter, butterflies and buttercups, and all the cowslips that yellow the meadow flats. For the bull loves to graze where the soil is rich and good things grow. But Taurus must know that the earth produces for everyone. And if you claim it all for yourself, you will be alone when at last it claims you.
So Taurus, enjoy your 6 o'clock feast. Be as quietly there as the coral reef. Graze self-satisfied on your yellow hills. As long as you don't forget, there is a world out there, and people who don't want a lot, but who truly need a little.
In love, Taurus. How do I know? By the heavy music you play over and over, and by the rooms filled with flowers and the lines of poetry that appear out of nowhere. For this moment is nothing to take lightly. Love must be a meaningful thing, and one does not scatter their roses. You move into it carefully, with an eye to where it's going and a desire to make it last. For in love, as in all things, Taurus must feel he's building something.
In love with the Taurus man, my girl? Great, if the idea of terra firma under your feet instead of clouds appeals to you. And if you want someone who knows where true north is and has a real sense of direction, you will have to handle a bull who won't let you put a ring through his nose just because he put one on your finger. But he's perfect if you want it sure and solid, and can cope with emotions on a grand and a classic scale. And if you have the wisdom to let a giant sleep. Because if you wave too many red flags before the bull's eye, he can turn the place into a china shop, leave, and never look back.
In love with a Taurus girl, my boy? Now this could be the start of something big. And what's more, permanent. You have just become involved with an Earth mother. And as the Earth soaks up rain and sunshine and the changing seasons, a Taurus woman absorbs the best you have to offer and will not settle for less. If it's games you want to play, if you're doing the traveling salesman routine and simply passing through, you may find yourself hung up in town for a while. For the Taurian lady does not let go very easily. But if you do get hung up in town, it may be the best thing that ever happened to you, because she can show you just how much of a man you really are. If you're afraid to find out, grab the next train.
Out of love, Taurus? It's hard to let go, isn't it? You just have to learn there are two kinds of love. The 100-yard dash and the long-distance marathon. Better luck next time. Try a Capricorn, Virgo, or Cancer. And remember that all kinds of love have a reason to be. A nighttime or a lifetime.
Taurus begins with a quiet need to be strong. He is patient and content to get his bearings slowly. He waits for life to come to him, and he is the champion waiter of all time. When he moves, it will be slow and sure, and he refuses to be rushed, pushed, or bullied into action or submission. He thrives on the warm feelings, and love makes his world go round. From the beginning, the young Taurian responds to logic, for this is the value he understands innately. He is docile and peaceful. but if rubbed the wrong way too often, the young bull can explode with a frightening display of anger. Usually, however, he is an easygoing and affectionate youngster. He is what people mean when they say, a good child.
In the second season, the bull begins to formulate his plans. His is a dedication to order, system, and he has a very set approach to attaining his goal. He puts his life together as one would construct a building, carefully drawing his plans, gathering materials, and placing one brick methodically on top of the other. What confuses him is when the best laid plans go astray, and when they do, the cause is inevitably his stubbornness and inflexibility. This is the Taurian dragon.
In the third season, the bull who is truly grown understands that a great plan is one which is loose enough to cope with the unforeseen and deal with the element of surprise. With a newly gained respect for inspiration and a lighter accent on absolutes, the Taurian can bring his broad shoulders, determination, and vast capacity for work to undertakings of large dimension, and can truly help to create monuments that will withstand the test of time.
In the fourth season, the Taurian native can enjoy the full life. He will have acquired material comfort, known love on a profound level, have a home where music always is, and friends are ever welcome. He can also look out of his window and see a world that he has concretely helped to build. For Taurus, man and woman alike, to become is to build, and they can know the satisfaction of having been on the ground floor of many enterprises and great undertakings.
I believe that cosmic religious sense is one of the strongest and noblest motives behind scientific research. Albert Einstein. I hold it for certain that the celestial bodies have in them certain other influences besides heat and light. I have practiced astrology, and you have not. If I do not condemn it, how can you presume to do so? Sir Francis Bacon. It is the stars above us, governs our conditions. William Shakespeare. Ye stars, which are the poetry of heaven, in your bright leaves we would read the fate of men and empires. Lord Byron. Astrology is astronomy brought down to earth and applied to the affairs of man. Ralph Waldo Emerson. We of the fixed stars have rejected the message of the wanderers of the sky. Do they not tell us of things to come as well as of things long past, buried in the racial memory of man? Henry Miller. It is the very error of the moon. She comes more near to earth than she was wont, and makes men mad. From Othello by William Shakespeare. We are born at a given moment, in a given place. And like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year and the season in which we are born. Astrology does not lay claim to anything more. Carl Jung.